to the Free Play Arcade Podcast. You are joined once again by Chris Delp, the community liaison, and my partners, whom I will let introduce themselves because I like their voice.
Yay! I'm Stephanie Pittman. I'm the admin assistant here at Free Play, and I do a whole bunch of random miscellaneous things that keep the business going.
I am Martha Williams, and I am another community liaison.
What?
He's the Evo champion of Garu. No, let's not be modest.
These things are not true. They are not true.
All right, so you know who we are. If you like what we do, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're virtually everywhere. In fact, if you're listening to us on YouTube, you can find us on iTunes and vice versa and both. And we're always available for your subscriptions and bell notifications and whatnot. So get right on that. And we're going to get into today's topic, which is a hypothetical question that I have for my partners here. So, we have an accident. It's a terrible accident. And we are each stranded on a deserted island.
Okay.
All of us. On 3 different islands. Competing islands, even.
That's interesting.
I feel my anxiety level going up already.
Yes. Now, you get to keep arcade games. Some.
How many, though?
How many? It depends on how long it takes us to do this podcast.
Okay, fair enough.
Right. But start from the top of your list. We're going to talk about deserted island arcade games. You only get the one right now. So what's the one arcade game that's going to keep you busy this entire time without going insane? You get one arcade game. You magically get power at your deserted island.
Okay.
But if one of us takes it for our island, you can't get that game for your island. So no repeats here. And just to get mine off the board and take one of Arthur's before we get going.
Snap! This is war now.
I'm going first. And another caveat I'll give you: if it's a multiplayer game, if it's 4 players or whatever, if it's the 6-player X-Men, you're going to get to spawn 6 magical players to play that game with you.
All right.
Because
I like this.
I know you're probably feeling fighting games over there, so you get your person to play against. You don't have to play against the terrible.
See, I was honestly thinking of which game had the most fun combos so that I could just training mode it.
Yeah, because I know you're going to pick MK2, but like it wouldn't be MK2 if you had to play the AI.
Spoilers, dude. Come on now.
So let me start first. When I get trapped on this deserted island and I get one game, my first game that I will pick, give me Street Fighter 3 Third Strike.
That is an excellent game.
That game, in my opinion, is the ultimate fighting game. That game has a super complex engine, depth for days, a huge cast. It's oh so right in oh so many ways. The graphics are incredible and artistic. Like the art is just top notch. The best of the genre, really.
Really good soundtrack too, by the way.
Amazing soundtrack. I don't have many bad things to say about Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. You can either not like what it's doing, but you can't tell me that it's doing it badly, because that game does everything good. It's the ultimate fighting game, and since I have all of eternity left to play and to learn this game, and I get no other fighting games, I'm taking Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. What do you guys think? How'd I do?
I think that's a solid starting point.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh man, it's gonna be like 20 years just me learning Hugo, and then I get to work on my second character. I'm good for quite a while here.
But here's the real question: are all these arcade games set to free to play?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even if they're not, we're gonna open the bad boy up and use that same quarter over and over again. It's okay.
Okay, fair. I was about to say, because this drastically changes
no, I'll let you play.
What games I pick, if this is set to free to play or not.
Yeah, we're free play. It's good. You don't have to do coin op. Although I guess you could like limit yourself, but I mean that's up to you. If you want to go back to
diet. This is arcade games. Come on.
If you want to go back to X-Men, then you might have more fun that way. But what do you guys think? I don't know. Third Strike is so good.
I think that's a good one.
I think it's a solid choice.
I want to say how much I really think that game deserves to have all the time sucked into it. Like
at the end of our lives, once we get saved by throwing away our good friend Wilson or whatever, I want to see how good you are at Third Strike.
Yeah. I do enjoy watching other people play Third Strike. It's always just entertaining.
I'm the same way. Like I love that game and I love watching it, and like I want to commit all the time to it. That ultimately keeps me from playing Third Strike more, is that like I know that I can't give that game the time that it deserves, because it deserves all of it. It's so good.
I would probably say my top Desert Island game is a little out there, and I spent almost all of my time at the employee appreciation party playing this game, teaching other people how to play the game while I was learning it, is the Sailor Moon beat 'em up.
I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah. Okay, so not only
not
do you have the beautiful anime style and a good soundtrack, Sailor Moon, come on, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That, and you kind of have the whole beat 'em up aspect, like Final Fight, going on there.
Yep.
My only complaint about it is you can accidentally hit your other fellow teammates.
I wonder if you could turn it off in the options.
I don't know. If you can, that would be awesome.
So there is friendly fire.
I'll look
There
into
is
that at some
definitely
point.
friendly fire. But the more I play it, the more new things I learn about it. And it's just really interesting. And the whole dynamic, I feel, changes if you select a different character. But I'm always going to be Sailor Mars, best girl, who's going to make a lot of people angry with me saying that. But I don't care because I love Sailor Mars.
Is she the fire one?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the best.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I knew you had good taste.
You say that until you get to my pick.
See, but I really, I've enjoyed looking at that crowded arcade game throughout its appearance at Free Play Richardson. I haven't actually got to play it yet. Like, it looks gorgeous, and
Play it with me sometime. You have to.
But the game, it's being played right now as we speak in Free Play Richardson. There are 2 people.
Okay,
there
after
might
the
be
podcast.
7
Let's go.
people in the arcade, and 2 of them are playing Sailor Moon.
Because every single time I walk by it, no one's playing it.
When do you go there?
Saturday, early morning.
Really?
Yes.
All
Right
right.
at opening at Richardson when we open.
I will see you at 11 a.m. on Saturday then. We're going to play ourselves some Sailor Moon.
I like
All right.
it.
Yeah.
I'll have to bring my husband to distract Kiddo because he's going to want to play Hydro Thunder. But anyway. But yes, I love Sailor Moon. I feel like that could entertain me for almost forever.
All right. So I guess third strike's off the board and you don't get Sailor Moon. So Arthur, what are you taking for your private island?
I'm worried about survival. I'm on a desert island. There's maybe no chance to be living. I need a game that can teach me how to climb up these trees and get the fruit. I'm taking Donkey Kong Jr.
DK Jr.
Interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting choice. Why Junior and not the original, may I ask?
Because the original is a plumber jumping around on girders. The sequel is a monkey climbing up to get fruit and watching out for crocodiles.
That is very true.
Also springs.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It will take you a while to master that game.
That it will. Yeah.
Man.
But
DK
I'm going to be
Jr.
living happy and content once I understand how to get them coconuts.
I like
That's
how
true.
you're going for the instructional value.
Mine is, well, I'm going to die anyway, so I might as well enjoy myself what time I have left. But that's my logic. It may not be the best,
I
but
think that's pretty solid logic, frankly. Sailor Moon's a pretty fun game.
it is a fun game.
I played it through all the way once. I played it a couple other times, trying to just mess with the game, find some stuff. And
Yeah,
it's
it's the best
definitely
way to
got
do
some
it.
neat stuff in it.
Yeah, it does. All right, Chris, you're
All
number
right,
two.
throwing it to
Going
me.
up.
Okay, so it's hard to figure out which one of this genre. I know what genre I want to go with, but I think what I'm going to go with is,
Don't you dare take mine.
well, I'm not going to, I'm sure.
You don't know which one I'm talking about.
Okay, so it's shuffling between 2, and maybe I'll have you guys help me decide which one I'm hauling to the island. It's either San Francisco Rush the Rock Alcatraz Edition or San Francisco Rush 2049. I think it's 2049,
You
right?
have them both. Meh.
Yeah, they're both really fun racing games. They're both hard to control racing games, which is going to give me that extra replay value as I learn to
That's fair.
make those turns and hit all those secrets in just the right way, improve my time. I have so much fun just driving around in the San Francisco Rush series. I know San Francisco Rush the Rock Alcatraz Edition, which is its whole name, did appear for some time at Free Play Arlington. I know why it appeared, because I was at one of the early auctions in my employment, and I was like, I like that game. So Corey is like, you know what? I've got an extra $20 to get that game no one else wants. So they got it, and they threw it on Free Play Arlington.
Nice.
Oh,
But, I would say it's very much in the series. You know, NBA Jam and NBA Hang Time and Arch Rivals and NBA Showtime, these are all basically the same game. They're 2-on-2 basketball games. They're made by the same people. A very clear, direct lineage. Hard driving is where San Francisco Rush comes from. You have the eject button. You have the crazy explosions. You have the stunt tracks. Like, it's a stunt track in hard driving It doesn't say it's a stunt track in San Francisco Rush. However, it is clearly all a stunt track. There's even like loop-de-loops and stuff if you get off the track. So it's like the late 90s, early 2000s. I can't remember what year it actually came in. Version of that game, but I remember absolutely adoring it in the arcades and thinking I can't possibly put enough time into it because I never mastered it. Like you never really master a racing game as it is because you can always do, a quarter second better or whatever it is. But I really never mastered it when it came to San Francisco Rush because there's 6-7 tracks. You can do them backwards, you can do them forwards, and there's hidden levels, hidden paths, branching paths, hidden things going through buildings, toppling through the air, doing crazy flips, and it's all organic too. It's not like another game I think of in that genre is a console game called Burnout, the Burnout series. You guys familiar?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah, in that game, they took it to another degree where you're actually like intentionally causing crashes to pick up speed. Right, so crashing is sort of part of that game.
I think Burnout Paradise had a mode where you're just trying to make the most spectacular and largest crash. It's a chain reaction.
Yeah, which was great.
Dominoes.
That was
awesome.
fun. Yeah, it was running off like a golf system where you're trying to make par by causing enough wanton destruction.
Nice.
So a great concept, but like something I loved about the way San Francisco Rush did it was like you can have all those spectacular crashes, but they are crashes and they will destroy you. You can do some crazy flips in that game, kind of on accident or whatever, and you can like keep rotating. I'm almost gonna make it. Yes, I made it, and you hit the gas and you go, and you're like, oh, that's the greatest thing. If I could spend enough time on my desert island to absolutely nail a flip like that's just out of control, and bam, here I go. Oh man, I'm gonna have so much fun. As soon as I get done with Third Strike, San Francisco Rush. That's where I'm going.
Well, I'm going to start going into a topic no one else has brought up yet. I actually was introduced to this game during the first puzzle night that we had after I was hired with Free Play. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm getting at, aren't you?
Oh, no.
I think
so. Oh, wait,
really?
no, I do, actually. Yeah, go for it.
It was actually our old admin's assistant favorite game, too, I believe.
Uh-huh.
I'm a huge fan of Puzzle Drop 3.
Magical
Drop 3.
Yeah.
My mind's on puzzle right now, and I got really, really excited. And definitely the third, not the second. The second is fun, but it's not the same.
But the Magical Drop 3 includes all the characters from Magical Drop 2. So when you and your fantasy partner who materializes just so you can play Magical Drop with them, you'll get to play that game as well because you have those same characters also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would be a different game each time because each of the different characters has their own like special move and play style, so it drastically changes the game, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe the first couple of times you may not notice it, but after a while you're like, oh snap, you play with this character, like only like the left side gets all these more blocks and the other is just the right side. And it's just, I get really into it. I've had times where like patrons would come up to me and they're like, what are you playing? Because I'm like banging on the joysticks really fast. I'm like, it's Magical Drop 3, it's the best game ever. You can play if you want. And they're like, no, I'm having fun watching you do this. I get really into it.
We actually have quite the cult following for that game too. There are people who come into Free Play just to play Magical Drop.
Yeah,
and it's buried in a corner. It doesn't even have a dedicated cab. So I think it's the only game that actually like exists on that level where it does not have a dedicated cab to call its attention, and yet people are coming in
because it's awesome.
Yeah, they're messaging me, "Hey Chris, is Magical Drop 3 in the cabinet? I want to go to Free Play," and I'm like, "Well, I'm there, so sure, why not?"
Exactly. So I think I would have fun with that whether I was facing the computer or another fellow opponent.
The art is so really good on that one as well. Like it
is.
So who's your favorite characters though?
Oh, I don't know. I change between a lot of them. I really like the Empress is really cool, and Justice are probably the two I play the most.
What's the one with the milk jugs? The suggestive milk jugs? I think it's World.
Not sure.
I think it's World.
Yeah. The one with the third eye.
Yeah, and she's got milk jugs covering where she's not wearing a shirt.
Yeah,
and
that's World.
It's overly. It just makes me giggle every time. So that's the one that I like. Not in a competitive sense. Like strength seems to dominate everything and on competition level, but. Yeah, I like that game, and I love the art, and I love the animations.
Yes,
I love the panic animations when they're...
Oh, yeah. They're just so adorable. And then they get all cocky when they win, too. And it's just... it's just a cute, fun game, and it makes you think too. You have to move fast.
Yeah,
I got totally destroyed that first puzzle night, but well, I didn't know what I was doing. I had never played the game before.
It's not a game that you can pick up immediately and hope to win at. There's skill
against
there.
other people, yeah. But if you start off like playing against the computer,
sure. I mean, like
you definitely pick up the skills, like what you need to do.
You could definitely learn anything, but I think
that's another good staple of a good deserted island game is like
you can get good at it.
Yeah, it takes a long time to master. There's levels of nuance there that you can continue to pick up on and continue to revise 10, 20 years down the line, and you can keep getting better at Magical Drop 3, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. What would be another one of yours, Arthur?
Well, similar to Chris and Third Strike, I would pick what I believe is the strongest, hardest fighting game with the most things you can possibly do. Capcom vs. SNK 2.
Oh, good choice.
Playable right now, generally on Fridays at Richardson Free Play Richardson. So if you're in the neighborhood in DFW and you want to play some CVS 2, come see me on a Friday. But that is a game with way too many characters, with way too many system mechanics.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is that the one where you see on the internet like people memeing it, where it's like for Halloween I dressed up as the menu?
That is actually Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Oh, okay, wrong game. Sorry.
Actually, not a bad deserted island game either.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had 56 characters. Capcom vs. SNK 2 has 48.
That's a lot.
I want to say, and there's possibly 44 in the arcade version. I can't remember if that includes the 4 extra characters or not. Either way. Before you're allowed to play the game, you have to make like 6 decisions, right? Just to tell you what you're in for. And even if I was solo, right, with no one to play with, I think that's the game that I would pick, just because it has infinite amount of combos and things to practice and things to learn and have a good time doing. But if I had a second player with me that was doing the same sort of stuff, I feel like I can get the most potential time played out of that game, out of any game. And my choice was, I only want to have one fighting game with me. My choice was essentially that or Street Fighter 4. So I'd go with CVS 2, though.
Yeah,
very nice, very nice.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that choice at all. And also, like, again, like, any problems I have with CVS 2 go away with the fact that you're on a deserted island forever.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a long time to get a game of CVS 2 going, but who cares? We're going to be here all day, all week, all year. Every season's the same. We're on a deserted island, and we're going to play us some CVS 2. I'm gonna get good with King.
Finally have the time to learn to roll.
Because I got Third Strike only.
I guess you can't, because it's on his island. Ooh, this will make the rules really tough now.
I'm telling you, if you ever visit my island, pick P grooves, you can parry.
But why would I leave when I have Magical Drop 3 and Sailor Moon?
It's true. I will have learned to parry quite well on my deserted island. I hear it's not exactly the same, though, so I might find it counterintuitive how the parry goes.
I was able to go back and forth.
So much time into Third Strike on my deserted island.
I understand that.
I've really got the nuance down at this point. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So if you had a third game, what would you pick?
My third game, let's see. Well, I had it in my head, and I've lost it now. It was another puzzle game. So this is one of my favorite puzzle games of all time, and it's a really good single-player puzzle game. And I don't know why this game in particular, like, absolutely talked to me. It's Mr. Driller.
Oh, that's a fun game.
And not only is it Mr. Driller, I'm going to make it Mr. Driller, I believe was it Type G that we played for Puzzle Night?
Mr. Driller G, yeah.
Yeah, so Mr. Driller Type G. Now, my affinity is actually for Mr. Driller USA, the original USA release that I played at GameWorks in Grapevine. But Mr. Driller Type G, which I first played in my trip to Japan, and then later when we had it out on the floor for Puzzle Night, it's that game, but it's also a bunch of different modes. It's a racing mode. There's different characters. There's an endless mode as well, and that's really where I'm going with this. I'm probably going to spend most of my time playing Mr. Driller, playing that endless mode, and just going as far as I possibly can with every different character and just getting into this nice zen feeling. And if you haven't played Mr. Driller, you play as... actually, you can play as the character from Dig Dug.
Huh, okay.
Taizo number 1 or something, I think, is his name. But the main Mr. Driller character wears all pink, and he's really cute, and his name is Sasumi, I think. There's a little dog you can play as, a little robot. But you're always drilling down, and you're trying to save your world, wherever it is, Mr. Drillerland, from colored blocks, the evil colored blocks that have taken over your city.
Damn them.
Yo!
And there's some little guys, and I don't know what their race is called, but there's these little underground dwellers that have accidentally created colored blocks that have taken over from the bottom up, and you have to drill all the way down to the center of your planet just to tell them to please shut off that machine because we have too many colored blocks. And they're like, oh, okay, and they turn it off. Right? That's the whole plot of Mr. Driller. But you're drilling down, you're having to conserve your air because you're constantly losing your air because you're drilling underground. There's no air for you. So you have to pick up air capsules, which are conveniently placed every 75 feet all the way down to the center of your planet. And you can't drill through the X blocks because that takes away your air, because I'm not sure why, but they do. And that's where the puzzle element comes in, because you can't just drill straight down and go as fast as you can and just keep bringing down a button. But you want to solve it to where the X blocks kind of connect together in match 4 type scenarios. So you're having to solve it in a hurry as you're flying through the level and make them disappear and make the air capsule fall on you and then go to the next level. And it's got really cute graphics. It's got really cute music. The whole concept is cute, and it makes me laugh because you're saving the world from colored blocks. And I just adore this game, and I feel like I could play it forever, and I'm going to test that theory out because it's my number 3 deserted island game.
That's a good one. I think I'm going to change up the genre a little bit on you guys, though.
All right.
I want Dance Dance Revolution.
Oh,
fantastic.
nice.
Heck yeah.
All right.
It's going to take a while to master.
Whatever. Which version?
Well, I would like any of them, but now I'm having a hard time remembering. What one was the first arcade?
The first
I remember
one
which
played,
one came out on the gaming system.
Well,
So
it was
Dance-
DDR USA was the first one with the widespread
Correct.
released in America.
and that was called Dance Dance Revolution in the United States before it was DDR USA. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that was technically the first one, right?
At least in our side, yeah.
The first one that I played was DDR Second Mix. I think the first one, period, was the Japanese one, Dance Dance
I
Revolution.
would like the original. However, I would be happy with any of them. But the original would be, if I got to pick, that would be the one I would pick.
It's definitely your decision. Don't get me
Yes.
wrong. If I was going to make a pick from when I played DDR, was the earlier ones, I would pick 4th Mix Plus because it had all of the songs from all the previous versions that far, minus the Korean ones from DDR 3rd Mix.
Sounds very ultimate to me.
Nice. I like it.
I mean, there are further mixes that definitely call themselves Ultimax or whatever, so...
Well, but if it has all the songs, then
But yes.
that screams ultimate to me.
Yeah.
It does, so maybe that would be a good one.
I would say if you were an early adopter to the game, and I don't know if it had all the USA songs or not, just because it wasn't an American release,
Right.
but that would be my personal suggestion.
Yeah, and maybe that one. All I know is that I would go insane without any music on a deserted island, and I would have so many good song choices. I could get my exercise right there by dancing out on it, and I could go back to actually being really, really good at the game, because back in high school I was the second best at DDR, and I really was. I really wanted to be number 1, but this girl named Jennifer would beat me every single time.
Now, does
But-
Jennifer spawn for you to play against as well? Because you get the multiplayer if you want it.
You know, I haven't seen her since high school, but I mean, if she's up for some DDR, Jennifer, if you're out there, come on out.
It's on my deserted island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come chill with me. We
Now
can play
you-
some DDR together.
Are you gonna
like
learn?
old times.
Are you gonna learn to play it like doubles, or are you gonna do most of it single mode? What are
You
gonna
know, I would probably do most of it single, but I have dabbled in double a little bit. But I haven't quite mastered how to do double, especially with the proper style to make it look nice while you're doing it.
And is that your mission on your deserted island? Are you gonna to dance with style, or are you gonna just try and hit the buttons in the fastest, most efficient way possible?
I think first I would master efficiency and try to master it. And then once when I've mastered efficiency and I know all the songs well, that's when you start throwing in all the fancy spins and pirouettes and fancy dance terms to make it look badass. Even though nobody could see me because I'm on my own deserted island. But you know what? I'm having fun. And that's what DDR boils down to. You having fun, jamming out. And that's why it's on my island.
I think you make a pretty good point. You might need some music. I could go with something like Beat Mania, I suppose, but
Ooh, that would be
I
fun.
think rather than that, though, I'm going to go with a game that was on my hate games list from a podcast that you can possibly see over there in the links area. But the Iron Maiden pinball is a game that I would finally have enough time to actually play.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh, the irony.
My problem with the game, as I discussed before, was that a ball's going to take me 20 minutes, and I don't have time to put a whole hour into a single game.
But you do now.
And if that problem goes away, I'm coming for you, Eddie.
So are you a fan of Iron Maiden in general?
Yeah, I actually saw him in concert in Houston.
Oh, nice.
Like 2004 or 3, I don't remember when. They put on a good show, and I had a good time. I had a few of their albums as a kid, and one on vinyl from the mid 80s. It was, I guess, it wasn't really mine, but
still,
that was how I found out about it. I always thought they sounded really neat, and liked the music. My favorite Iron Maiden song is "The Trooper," and my second favorite is, sadly, not in the pinball game, "The Prisoner." So, but "The Trooper" is, so that's good.
Yeah,
Anyway.
no, it's got a good soundtrack.
Great soundtrack. I love that game.
And Stern has been doing a lot of band licensed pinball tables, so I have enjoyed and learned to enjoy Iron Maiden more with Iron Maiden pinball. But I have the same affinity for Aerosmith pinball because I dig early Aerosmith, and I also like all the way through the Pump album. Basically, Revolution X taught me how to enjoy Aerosmith. So
Nice.
everything there and before.
So, would you take Revolution X or the pinball table if you
I mean,
had to pick one?
It's going to be a while before I get to those on my deserted
right.
island. But the answer to that question is it would be the pinball because I think pinball is just a more robust game.
I think pinball is good, and I think Revolution X is bad, even though I love it.
I
It
played
exists.
so much Revolution X. I wanted to do all
We
the
have
branching paths.
Revolution X out in Denton right now, I believe.
We've had it
has
at
been
every
Richardson,
location.
but I don't think it's
Okay.
there now.
Yeah, no, currently we have Terminator 2, a similar gun game.
Pretty much the same game.
Yeah.
sort of.
I feel like I saw it in Denton a couple of weeks ago. But
Yeah,
You
I
may
think
well
it's
have.
I'm
nice.
sure it is in
Okay.
Denton. I'm not sure if it's in Arlington at the moment.
It's not in Arlington right now.
Okay,
Okay,
so
gotcha.
there you go. But definitely has been a staple on the free play floors.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely not on my deserted island.
But yeah, my desert island, I'm taking the Iron Maiden pinball, and I'm gonna wizard mode it. So, what's
So-
next for you, Chris?
So my thought is all about I need something that's going to take some time to master, right? And I'm going to go with one of my already favorite games I've already put a lot of time in, but I feel like I can put a lot more time in, and that's Ghosts and Goblins.
Ooh.
USA version, because the Japanese version is not that hard. And I'm on a deserted island, and I need maximum difficulty.
I was actually thinking about that
Fair
particular game, and now it
Yeah.
is off the table.
bad.
Because when we had our boat crash or plane crash or whatever, that game landed with you and not with me.
Right. So
Yep.
I've got and I don't even have to worry about like side working in music. That game has incredible music, iconic music, kind of spooky music. But I've got my Halloween game. If I can figure out what day is Halloween, when all the days look exactly the same on my deserted island.
Why not make everyday Halloween?
Right? Well, I am, because I have Ghosts and Goblins, and that game, it's so hard. It's the hardest game I can think of. Unforgiving in every level. Every boss seems cruel in how it swoops down and kills you seemingly instantaneously. But I can tell you from practice, like, you can get to where you can beat it. Like, it is possible, but it's going to take you so much time, of which I have it. Prin Prin's going to be kidnapped by Satan, which is oddly the plot, over and over again. And I'm going to go after Red Armor. And what does he have another name now in Marvel vs. Capcom or something?
Red Armor is also, well, Firebrand is a Red Armor.
Okay.
And he originated from the Demon's Crest series, or Gargoyle's Quest on Game Boy, I believe is the first one.
Fair enough. And
So-
Ghouls and Ghosts is actually an excellent update to that game. It was also an arcade game.
It was a fantastic game.
But I'm going the straight pain of Ghouls.
I think
or
Ghosts and Goblins,
Ghosts and Goblins.
is the quintessential Arthur adventure.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. I have dressed up as Arthur for Halloween before. And and Chase is dressed up as Michael Beltran, and it's a whole thing with
I
us.
think I saw some of those pictures actually.
Yes.
Did
yes.
you have the beard?
I did have the beard. It wasn't as sweet as your current beard. It was just a fake, big bushy beard. It was Arthur without the armor, so it was just
If you could make some rig to like pull the armor
fly
off
the armor
you.
off. Anytime someone touches me, they're like, "Oh, hey, Chris, how are you doing?" And bang! I fall backwards,
There with boxers.
throw my lance back at them.
That escalated quickly.
Oh man, I really liked we were on a team in Marvel vs. Capcom 1, and we kept using Arthur Assist.
Yes, I had to use the Arthur assist because I was
Nice.
playing with Arthur as my partner.
I had to
like
use
it.
the Arthur Assist also because I'm Arthur.
There you go.
I love the variety of Ghosts and Goblins. The different levels are different. Each one of like basically the levels are separated into two halves, and each of the halves look very different. They look very spooky, atmospheric, very good graphics for the time. They hold up. They look dated, but they have that pixel art style that you're like, oh, that's really cool looking. The bosses are of course crushingly hard.
Yes.
If you beat the game, if you finally beat the game, it says, "Oh no, this is a trick from Satan. Beat it again." So you have to beat it a second time. And even then, if you don't beat it with the right weapon, it's like, "Oh no, you have to go back again and get the right weapon and bring that forward and win."
That reminds me a lot of Bubble Bobble.
Bubble. Bubble Bobble had 100 levels. I didn't know it would send you back though.
Oh, but it's not the true ending. It doesn't send you back. After you beat Bubble Bobble, like let's say if you're just doing single player, it says like that wasn't like the true enemy or something and you go back. If you just beat it by yourself again, it shows like you've only saved like one person. And they're like, "Oh, but you didn't get the true ending. The only way to get the true ending in Bubble Bobble is
beat it
if
2 players?
Exactly.
I didn't know
The
that.
second
That's
time
awesome.
around, you have to have 2 players.
Nice.
And then you
Wow.
rescue everybody.
So
Okay.
Double Dragon has a similar ending also.
Sort of.
Interesting.
Sort of. So in this game, you're trying to save your girlfriend, or maybe it's Billy's girlfriend. I can't remember.
Her name is Marion, and she is... Okay, so depending on exactly which version you play,
Arcade techno.
arcade version is Hammer and Spike are trying to save the girl from Machine Gun Willie or Billy, depending on where you read the name of the guy.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So and that one's available. I want to say in Free Play Arlington right now.
Yes.
But yeah, you get to the end with you and your partner, and you've one credited the game, and you've had Rob Rodriguez and Chad Robinson stream it as one of your first streams. They get all the way to the game. They've never played the game 2-player before, only single player. They high five each other because they just beat the game together in one credit without losing a man collectively. And then while they're high fiving, the game is like, oh, but wait, you have to fight each other to the death to save Marion.
I believe the specific wording is player 1 versus player 2.
Yeah, go.
Well, F.
And then you fight each other and kill each other, and you only have one life, no matter how many it says that you have. And after that, then the winner gets to make out with Marion.
Only one player gets to actually beat that game. So yeah,
Weird.
very weird. Double Dragon not making my island. Ghosts and Goblins making my island. That sends it to you, Stephanie. What you got for me?
I'm mostly, the only reason I'm having this game on my island is because I was recently exposed to it, and it's a lot of fun, and I want to keep playing it just so I can get good at it. I believe it's still in Free Play Arlington right now, but I'm not positive. Is Elevator Action.
The original.
Yeah.
It's a fun game.
It is a fun game. I just recently started playing it last time I was in Arlington because I heard Josh, who's been on our podcast before, talk about it.
Is it Elevator
And-
Action or Elevator Action Returns? Do you know?
Whichever one we had in the cabinet, and I think it was the original,
The
but I
original
could be
looks
wrong.
very 8-bit. The new one looks very 32-bit.
Can you pull up some pictures? I should be able to.
Okay.
I'd recognize it by gameplay.
It's the original.
Original? Okay.
Okay. We have
Then
the
yes.
original on the floor right now. We did have returns for a little bit.
Okay.
Fun game.
Yeah,
Fun games.
We had both of them, and we had Elevator Action Death Parade for Akon this year.
Oh,
I
my.
do remember that.
Yeah.
But the only one I've really played a lot of is Elevator Action, the original, and cheesy, yes, but it was fun.
Got a spooky spy feel to it.
It does. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was different than most of the other games I've played, and it was just entertaining. Something new.
I think that one's going to drive you insane on your deserted island, though, and you're going to like start babbling about elevator goes up, elevator goes down, and you're just going to freak out about it after, I don't know, 30 or 40
Then I'll just switch to
centuries of playing
Magical
this game.
Drop 3 or Sailor Moon.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I can just switch between games if I get tired of one.
And you have DDR playing in the background just to
Heck
keep
yeah.
your music straight. So yeah.
There you go.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of another game.
I like that Arthur has created a spreadsheet just for this.
Mood.
So Arthur's next choice is going to be a spreadsheet program.
Excel. I can idle away the hours with Excel. No,
I'm going to open it up to Excel after this. So
Wow.
I think that my decision is Sinistar, actually.
Sinistar, that's going to take you a while to master for sure.
Yeah, that is
But
a
an
game.
interesting game.
I've always really liked it. I think it's great. I love how the enemies work together to foil your plans. I have gotten to the first Void Zone and never been able to get any further than that because I just can't find any missiles to stop Sinistar from eating me repeatedly. If I had enough time, I think I could figure out a way to kill Sinistar on the non-Void Zone while getting enough missiles to kill him again on the next Void on the next level. I don't know if it's random or what determines whether you get a worker zone, a military zone, or a Void Zone. But man, Sinistar is a game that has always kind of haunted me and scared me while at the same time drawn me in. So I feel like on a deserted island, I could finally give the game the attention that it deserves. Also, that joystick is fantastic. He knows what I'm talking about. 49 directions. Come on.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I've walked past it. I'm like, it's actually pretty
NFL
entertaining.
Blitz uses the 49-way joystick.
Really?
Believe it or
I
not.
didn't know that.
Bizarrely. Wow. Yeah. I was stunned when they told me about that because I requested Blitz 99 to be my first Extra Life 25-hour game. And they're like, yeah, but we don't have enough extra 49-way joysticks working to have a 4-player Blitz 99 out at the time. And I'm like,
I can kind of agree with that. I mean,
like that's a thing I didn't even understand at the time. But yeah, I guess so. You need precision when you're juking back and forth with Emmitt Smith or Deion Sanders.
I guess we got time for one more game each.
Yep.
Looks like we got.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, well, in that case, they said we can open it up to console games or whatever you wanted. So for this one, you can go wherever you want.
Interesting. Okay.
But I'm actually not going to go console because I haven't mentioned a pinball and I need to get a pinball on my island because there's something special about pinball and juggling the ball and like getting it all. So I need a deep rule set. Like I want to say Total Nuclear Annihilation, but TNA
one.
is like it's simple. It does have the same. Well, it has like 2 songs in its soundtrack, which are excellent.
They are.
Man, you took Iron Maiden, so that's the third strike of pinball. Like that's the deep rule set.
You got Star Wars. That has infinite depth to it, pretty much.
I see. I'm with you.
What about Monster Bash? That's a good one.
Monster Bash is a good one. I don't know. I want a deep. We're gonna go with the GOAT. We're just gonna go with the best there ever was. Medieval Madness. That's gonna be
a fun one.
That game has so much depth. I had the arcade record for a long time at Medieval Madness. It features the Groundlings of the late 90s, including Tina Fey as one of the damsels.
Interesting.
Really?
I didn't know that.
It's got
That's
a lot.
intriguing.
A good soundtrack. It's got hilarious voice acting, obviously. A good writing. It's got just immaculate gameplay. All the ramps are right where you want them to be. The catapult shots over there. It's got some references to pop culture in every orifice of it. All the different boozy castles. They're all themed and hilarious. The castle itself shakes when you hit it. It's got a ton of depth. I've never done everything I wanted to do in Medieval Madness. So now that I have infinite time and it's pinball, I get to juggle the pinballs forever. Man, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get that Barnyard multi-ball, which I've never done. I've heard about it. So what they say is if you hit the catapult enough times, you get to fire. Are you familiar with the catapult in this?
Yes.
Anybody?
I've never had it happen to me. But yes,
Okay,
I'm
so
familiar
you
with
get when you get Catapult Madness, it lets you choose between the animals that you throw at the castle wall. It goes toot, 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 and you pick it, and it's like it's a cow, moo, smash into the wall, right? And then it gives you bonus points randomly on each of the animals. Well, if you manage to throw all of the animals, which takes something like, I don't know, 20 shots into the hardest shot in the game, and you have to specifically get every individual animal, then you get what's called barnyard multi-ball, and all scores are doubled during the multi-ball.
Whoa.
I have never seen it before. And that's not even the wizard mode. So there is so much to do in Medieval Madness. It's a glorious table. It's fun to play. It's got what I am assuming is infinite replay value. I haven't got tired of it yet. So that one's going on my desert island. And I'm saying the console games can kick it. Like, I like Skyrim and all, but like, I'm good with my arcade games.
Yeah, you say console games, but what if it had like a really sweet or deep story behind it?
I mean, there's the damsel, and I'm saving the damsel.
If you wanted the deep story, he would have gone with Double Dragon. Thank you.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Fair. Okay, fair. Well, my
It's got
console
everything.
game is kind of the reason why I'm picking it is mostly just because they're fun
Are you in
memories.
it? Are you in it?
I might be in the
Because I could have my
Well-
whole desert console game or desert arcade game with just you in it.
No, I was not in the credits of this one because at that time we had not met yet.
Oh, okay.
But you know where I'm going with this, I believe. So the console game I would probably pick, and not probably, I would pick, is Borderlands 2. Not only because it is a fun game. I love playing as Maya. It's a lot of fun. She's a siren and phase shifts. It's really awesome. Anyway, it's amazing soundtrack. The villain's hilarious. I really like the story in that one. But mostly I want it because of nostalgia value.
Handsome Jack is such a good villain in that.
Oh my gosh, yes. I would get it for nostalgia value, and the reason for that is when I first met my husband, I originally met online through a third-party dating website, which it would be funny if they sponsored us if I talked about them, but no, that wouldn't happen. Womp womp. So we met up at a bar in Plano called the Holy Grail. It's very good. And I got to talking about it. He had asked me, so what games have you been playing recently and you really into? So I start going off about Borderlands 2, how I originally started playing it because I was reviewing a game for a radio show at the time, and I didn't think I would like it because at the time I wasn't really into first-person shooters. Go along with it, it's really good, and I'm just obsessed playing it all the time. And he goes, oh, I actually am the programmer and worked on that game. So my cheeks are turning like beet red right now. And he's like, oh, so who's your favorite character? I'm like, I really like Maya. She's a lot of fun. I just really like the way how her special abilities work. He goes, oh, I worked on that skill tree set too. And I'm just like,
awesome.
Oh crap. He's like, well, didn't you notice like
A likely story. What a terrible bar trick this man trying to pull on you.
But yeah, so apparently I didn't realize in the background of one of his photos on the dating website was a Gearbox logo. So I didn't realize he was working there at the time before we went on the date. And then I realized he was working there. So it's a good thing I liked the game and didn't, bash it, because that would have been a terrible first date, wouldn't it?
I think Borderlands, I thought I like Borderlands 3 even better. But and not just because you're in it. But
I'm only in the credits though.
But Borderlands is not a game that's going in my desert island, but it's on the list of potential. But I tell you what, if it's my top date games, like I think Borderlands is at the top of the list of a game that I want to play with a friend or a date. Like you and me are going to play this game forever and continue our friendship, our relationship, our whatever, and just loot millions of guns. And Borderlands, I remember, obviously we are in the DFW area, Dallas-Fort Worth. Gearbox is here. Stephanie's husband works there. My best friend works at Gearbox as well.
She's awesome, by the way.
Thank you. But before she worked there, she gifted me Borderlands on the Xbox. Now,
the original?
I had never played it.
The first one?
Yes.
Nice.
And I'm not a fan of first-person shooters in general. I'm not a hater of first-person shooters in
It's just
general.
not your preferred genre.
Yeah. I'm playing so much stuff that I rarely have time to dedicate to that genre.
I hear. I'm the same with fighting games. I'm terrible at them. They're not my preferred style, but I like them.
Tons
They're
of
fun.
respect for it. I actually love sitting in the audience for QuakeCon and watching the competitions.
Well, that's fun.
They're so good. They're so good.
Yes.
They're jumping. They're throwing rockets backwards. It's amazing.
But yes, anyway, sorry.
Yeah, digression. Yeah. Borderlands, she gives it to me. It's autographed by people from Gearbox because we know people at Gearbox. And I'm like, okay, this is nice. And I don't even, like, I barely touch the game. Like, we put it in, and we play co-op for, like, 12 seconds, and Borderlands takes a little while to get into, and I didn't understand what I was seeing. I was just like, okay, more guns and first-person shooter. Okay, I'm good. And I moved on. Never even thought about it. It was just sitting there, autographed, waiting to be played, collecting dust, along with my Xbox. Mm-hmm. I don't think about it. And then, like, 2 Christmases later, I get for Christmas a 1001 Games to Play Before You Die book. It's
I love that book. Yeah, I know what you're talking
book.
about. Yeah, it's a good one.
And I'm going through this book and I'm reading about lots of games. I want to say Ghosts and Goblins is in there as well. Probably all of our games are in there. It's 1001 of them. And I get to Borderlands. I was like, oh, Borderlands. You know what? That's interesting that it's in here because Sarah gave it to me. And Sarah's thinking about going to work for Gearbox too. I'm like, I'm going to read about this. And they start describing it, and it's Diablo in a first-person shooter. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hold the phone, guys.
Nobody told me anything about Diablo. I love that game. I love that game so much that I had to exclude myself from playing that game because I'm too busy trying to get the next piece of armor. And you're telling me there's a first-person shooter that lives in the Diablo universe, except not, and it's funny, and it's got cool art. Mm-hmm. That game is stinking amazing.
It is.
And it's gotten better with time. All those Gearbox Borderlands games have been masterpieces, and Borderlands 3 just came out, and I am a huge fan.
Yeah,
and I will not sleep tonight because of it.
I'm still playing it. I haven't finished it yet, but so far it's really fun. I like it.
Finished it with 3 of 4 characters, and I work over 100 hours a week. I stinking love Borderlands 3.
Oh, I know.
So
priorities.
Yeah.
I know. I've just been busy with the kid.
Yeah, follow, and obey.
Yes, follow, and obey. But yes, I also like Borderlands 2 because I also got reunited with an old high school friend that way too.
Also your husband?
Huh?
You knew your husband in high school too?
No. I did not know him in high school. I didn't even meet him until after college. But no, before I met my husband, I met up with one of my old college friends, just like to play Borderlands. Like nothing happened or anything. But it was really fun. It was just good to catch up and see how his life was going, how, I think he was dating a girl at the time, his girlfriend, and I think he's married now. But anyway, so it was just fun to catch up on all that. We would help each other out on our games, and I met my love of my life, my husband, through Borderlands too. So
totally
I would
valid.
have to keep it for nostalgia reasons, if nothing else. Plus, it's
Totally
just a fun
valid.
game.
It is. It's a great game. Great choice.
Arthur.
Close us out, Arthur. What you got?
Well, I was thinking about it.
Excel.
My list seems pretty solid. Excel is not on the list, sorry. But we
Excel is the list.
I've got a pair of classic arcade games between Sinistar and Donkey Kong Jr. We've got an excellent fighting game, CVS2. Iron Maiden on the pinball. And I'm like, what else am I lacking? I don't really have a puzzle game. I don't really have a scrolling shooter. And I'm like, you know what? As much as I'd kind of like to put Polestar on it, I've already beaten it on 1 life, so I don't know what all is really left for me to do in that game other than do that repeatedly. I think I'd put Ikaruga on there so that I could finally have time to get S++ ranks in all 5 levels, and it would satisfy the puzzle niche and the scrolling shooter. Yeah, Sinistar is a shooter, sort of, but it's an arcade classic, I would say, more so than just being a shooter. I feel like Ikaruga would round out my list rather nicely.
That's the black bullets, white bullets, that game?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, please describe it.
Okay, so you're a ship, and you're flying around, and you're saving the world or something from a maniacal superpower, and there's a plot that's kind of hard to understand because it's all written in Japanese, and there's only about 20 lines of text in the whole thing.
That's kind of like the Sailor Moon beat-em-up game.
Yeah. And the enemies have all enemies have this polarity thing where they're either black or white, and white bullets will kill you if you're white. No, okay. Opposite colors will kill you. Light colors will power up your super bar. Your super bar sends out I can't remember if it's 8 or 16. I think it's 8 homing shots that hit things. And if you blow up things that are light colored, then they will drop more shots that you can pick up to power yourself up. And if you kill enemies in sets of 3 of the same color, then you get one chain, one combo. And the game is about navigating through these progressively harder and harder bullet paths while understanding how to switch polarity to kind of dodge half the stuff that's on the screen at once. But at the same time, learning how to kill things in sets of 3. And it's a exceedingly fun game. Lots of depth to it. It was briefly super popular with on the internet or whatever. People thought, oh, this game's amazing. And it was like the #1 all-time imported game, I've been told. I don't know exactly how true that is, but whatever. For the Dreamcast release originally. I think it was a great game.
It was incredibly innovative. I remember when it came out. The bullet hell has been a genre since basically. I mean, it's a descendant of Space Invaders, really, if you think down it.
More specifically, I'd say it's a descendant of Gradius. The makers were from Treasure. Treasure was an offshoot of Konami after they left after, I don't know, Contra 3 era or so. And I believe that several of the people that worked on the first Gradius were actually involved with Ikaruga.
Oh, nice. Yeah, but
also Gradius, best box art. Just saying.
Yeah,
side art.
clearly.
Pretty good.
And yeah, but yeah, that's the first game I can remember. Like you're going into the bullets to power yourself up. Like
yes,
it's a really innovative concept. I don't recall it being done again. I see it with other like shoot 'em ups where you're not going into bullets, but you're like the items that you're collecting and just explode across the screen, and you're trying to collect them while they're everywhere. But in Ikaruga, like the items are indeed the bullets themselves.
Yeah, and you're trying to dodge some will collect others, and it has this really interesting.
And every one of them could potentially kill you.
Yes.
And they fill up the entire screen. And I mean, there are 1,000 bullets on screen at any game.
You'll have waves traveling. You got to switch back and forth quickly, rapidly between while you're traversing like a bunch of black bullets for traversing a bunch of white bullets and going back and forth. And it's just a really fun game. And I would love to see it on the floor at some point.
That'd be fun. I've never played it, so that sounds like that would be a really fun game to play.
I've got it, so I'll see if I can make that happen at some point.
You're going to have to visit his island somehow. But that's against the rules.
Well,
so.
I mean, I have the game, and I could put it in one of the cabinets, maybe in Arlington, because we already have a 3x4, non 4x3 cabinet.
That's true, with a cave shooter in there.
That would make some sense, I guess.
Yeah, it's egret, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
we should put it in the cabinets when we're setting up our holiday decorations. Let's do it.
I kind of want to do that. I think maybe we'll do that.
All right, well, that's what Arthur's going to do for the rest of the day. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Also, I want you to vote in the comments below on who has the best deserted island.
Now tell us which ones you want on your island. I'm always open to learning about new games, too, or games I haven't played before.
I just want to know that my island's better than Arthur's.
Well, okay, you picked... I actually missed 2 of yours. Third Strike, Blank Blank, Ghosts and Goblins, and Medieval Madness. What were the 2 blanks?
That was so long ago. San Francisco Rush.
Yes.
Rush the Rock Alcatraz Edition. That's going to be the one it is.
Okay, Rush the Rock Alcatraz Edition.
I had to commit to one of them. Let's see. What were they again? What did you get?
Third Strike, Rush the Rock Alcatraz Edition, something. Ghosts and Goblins and Medieval Madness.
I feel like we can't make fun of him for Excel now because now has to have your list again.
You'll have to check my comments.
We'll have to check the tapes. All right.
Was it Mr. Driller? Did you get that one?
Mr. Driller.
Yes,
that's what it was. But
yes, tell us if you had to come chill with us on one of our islands, which one you would hang out with based on our game choices.
Stephanie chose Sailor Moon, Magical Drop 3, Dance's Revolution, 4th Mix Plus.
Sure. We'll go with 4th Mix Plus.
All right, 4th Mix Plus.
Because that sounds like I get the most bang for my buck there. Or
Elevator Action and Borderlands 2.
What would be the equivalent of bang for your buck on a deserted island?
Any. You can play these games forever. That's the nice thing about all 15 games that we picked.
But yes, that too. Yeah. But yes, we also want to hear what your deserted island games would be as well, because that just sounds interesting.
Just send them there. I want to know mine's better than these guys. You let me know.
You really think yours is better than Donkey Kong Jr., the game that's going to teach me how to get food?
For me, it is.
You vote, audience.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to subscribe. See you guys later.